The single most important offensive player for the 49ers is also the riskiest offensive player for the 49ers. What do they do if he gets hurt again? What is good, everybody? Welcome to another Gold Standard podcast, part of the Pro Football Insiders. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. She is Michelle Majuk. Michelle, it's almost game day.
Hey, it is almost game day. We are one day away. Another Saturday night game, which is wild. Another Saturday night where I have to be super stressed out. But no, I'm excited for this game. And now that we're here, I am almost happy they didn't win in week 18.
Wow. Okay, why?
Because I think them losing that game gives them more motivation, right? Whoever were to lose that game was going to have more motivation coming into this game. Now, obviously, the Seahawks also get the extra rest, which is huge for them. And then they get to play at home. I'm not saying, haha, Seahawks, you won, and now look at us. But I do think this is going to put an extra fire under their butts. They got to see them. They got to see, okay, we only allowed them to score 13 points. Our offense just needs to be average. That's all they need them to be. And I think having that game under their belt is really important. And them losing, I think we'll get Kyle Shanahan in the right headspace to figure out what went wrong in week 18.
Well, I do think that Kyle's going to have something ready for the Seahawks. And there is actually a stat that I came across yesterday that is the single most reassuring thing I have seen all week since we knew the Niners were going to have to play the Seahawks. And I want to get to that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about Ricky Pearsall because he is to me, in my mind, the most important offensive player for the 49ers.
Why?
Because he's the only guy, well, two reasons. Number one, he's the only guy they have that can separate against man coverage. And number two, he can space the field out a little. He's the only guy that can run past somebody that defenses have to really respect that they play. The Niners have some other fast guys. They just never, ever play them. The combination of those two things, I think, makes a huge difference for this offense. It's just so much easier. When they don't have him, everybody plays in a phone booth. All 11 defenders are 10 yards within the line of scrimmage, and it just makes it so much harder for the Niners to operate. So that's why I think Ricky Pearsall is massive in this game. But to hear him tell it, he is one hit away from being done. If he gets hit on that knee square, he's not going to be able to play. So I am very, very scared about that whole situation.
So I get you. With him on the field, it will help everyone else have more space. That's for sure. But even if he plays and he were to make it and be super healthy, I don't think he's going to have numbers, right, in this game. No, wide receivers just don't put up numbers against the Seahawks defense. They allowed the second fewest receiving yards to wide receivers this year, behind only the Browns. I just don't think that, they're going to put up these crazy numbers, whoever's out there. But you're right that Ricky Pearsall being out there will open up even Jake Tonjes, right, over the middle, and that should give him more space. Should open up Christian McCaffrey to have more room to run and hopefully to target him more. But I think the most important offensive player in this game is by far Christian McCaffrey, and it can't be another game where he's getting 8 carries. They're going to lose. And I don't care what his average is. He has to have 19, 20 carries in this game if they're going to beat the Seahawks.
I will point out that Ricky Pearsall had 108 yards against the Seahawks defense in week 1. 4 catches.
It was a very different defense in week 1 than what it is now.
Yes,
They started not being that great. They had a lot of injuries in the secondary to start the season, but they've been a totally different secondary the second half of the year.
I know. Nothing that happens in week 1 matters. None of it counts. Only what happens in week 18. That's the same thing Seahawks fans have been saying.
It doesn't matter, but the week 18 is much more what these teams are at this moment, because it was 2 weeks ago, than 18 weeks ago, where everything was very different.
You don't have to tell 49er fans everything was different 18 weeks ago.
They also only allowed the 49ers to score 17 points in that game. It's not like they had a big offensive game that
no, they didn't. But if you remember the final drive, Brock hits Ricky deep for 45 yards on that play. That really got them down the field in a hurry. That they don't have that without him.
Yeah.
Like the pass to Demarcus Robinson last week on the second play of the game was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. They have not had those explosive pass plays. He, to me, in my mind, is the only chance they have to get him. And I'm not saying they will get him, but I think without him, like, forget it.
It was funny on the broadcast. They were literally saying right before that play, like, they just don't get explosive plays. That's the big issue with this offense right now. And immediately Purdy throws to Robinson down the field. I think they called themselves out on that on the broadcast and were laughing, but it was funny.
It was such a good way to start because they did nothing against Seattle the week before. Like, so it was just so nice right out of the gate. It was like, bam, this is a different team, different game plan, and we're going to be able to move the ball. And they did. Ricky said he's going to give it a go. He talked about, Eric Branch had an article with him, which I'm trying to find, but Twitter wasn't working this morning and I couldn't dig it up. But essentially, Ricky was like, if I got a chance to go out of bounds and gain yards, if it's not a critical spot in the game, I got to go out of bounds. Like, he was very honest about how he's going to have to play. It's a very scary thing if you're Kyle Shanahan, because now you got to have like two game plans, right? The Ricky game plan and the backup plan for when Ricky goes down, which could be literally at any time. It's not a good place to be.
And I would say I would prefer Pearsall not to be saying this out loud. Like, he can have this plan in his head, like, I'm going to go out of bounds, but like, why tell the defense that? Well, why tell the defense how close you are to being knocked out of a game? Why tell the defense your plan to get out early? Like, I don't know. I don't think that benefits anybody at all. So I would have just kept that close to the vest if I was him.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point. I do like the honesty, just, from a business perspective, a talk show perspective, it's great. Thank you, Ricky. But yeah, it's definitely letting the defense in a little bit. Before I get to the Kyle Shanahan stat that's very reassuring, I just give me your kind of 30,000 view thoughts on this game. Like, what's your like zoomed out overall thoughts on the game? Because then I want to give you the stat and I want to see if it changes your mind at all.
I do think this is going to be a very close game, and I think it's going to be the same way where it's going to be very low scoring. I mean, these last three matchups between these two teams, it's been 37 combined points or fewer, with 16 and 30 in the two games this year. So it's going to be a close game. It's going to be low scoring. I don't expect Purdy or Sam Darnold to have a big game, but what the 49ers have to do is be able to slow down the run this time to force Sam Darnold into tough situations. They made it so easy for Darnold in week 18. He barely had to do anything at all. They cannot do that again. And obviously they're not going to get a lot of pressure on him. That's just not what they're going to do, but they have to force him into more difficult situations, more third and longs, like force him to think in his head, because he barely had to do any mental gymnastics in week 18. And that's when Sam Darnold is good.
I completely agree with every single thing you said. There's a little news on Darnold, which we can get to in a minute.
Darnold's fine. He'll play.
Here is the stat that I found, and it comes from Adam Copeland of KMBR. Since becoming head coach, the Niners have played 7 games in which they face a team that they played within the last month. Kyle Shanahan is 5-2 in those 7 games. And he's 3-0 when facing a team for the second time within 3 weeks. I have said that I think Kyle is going to be ready for Mike McDonald. I think he's going to have something for him. And I think it's not going to be a repeat of week 18. And then I saw this stat and I was like, son of a bee, I'm right again.
No, and it's really hard to beat a team twice in a 3-week span, especially a divisional rival. So that's why I was saying, like, when I come into this game, I'm almost relieved that the 49ers lost in week 18, because it would have been very hard to take them down for a second time in 3 weeks, just like it's going to be really hard for the Seahawks to do this. I do think this is a coin flip game. It's going to, but at the same time, I feel like everything had to go so wrong for the 49ers in that week 18 game for them to lose by these 10 points, right? It was just like everything that could go wrong did. Nothing could go their way. If the Christian McCaffrey drop to an interception when they're finally about to score, like, that was just it was just really defeating. And it's just like, okay, I give up, like, at that point, because just nothing was going your way. That's the game they had, and they got it under their belt. And I'm as long as that doesn't happen, I think they have a really good shot to win this game.
That catch that Christian McCaffrey makes last week, just like the fact that he makes that catch and the one against the Seahawks, not only does he not catch it, but it bounces out of his hands and goes directly into a defender. Like, God, it was just incredible. That catch he made last week. Oh my God. The way he has to track the ball over one side, then go back to the other side because the wind is pushing the ball. Chef's kiss. Love that man.
I was in the bathroom at that point. But
Oh, no.
I did go back and watch. But I listen, the only times the 49ers did good is when I left my desk and I was watching the end of the game in my kitchen where I could only see the TV from like the side view. But they were not doing anything when I was at my desk. So I had to keep going back and forth.
As I said to Dan Soder and all 49er fans that have done things like that, thank you for your service. It is appreciated. Whatever it takes, the 49ers have to do. It's really weird, too. I feel like the 49ers have a better chance to win this game than they did last week, even though I think Seattle is a better team than Philadelphia, just because it's a division game and because they just played them. Like Kyle talked about the game plan this week. He's like, we don't have to watch any extra film because there is no extra film to watch. They haven't played anybody since the last time they played us. So I think he's going to be ready now. It's going to be close. I don't expect the 49ers to blow him out. It's probably going to come down to one possession or a stupid call by an official or a dumb special teams play. But I don't look at this like, oh my God, the 6 seed 49ers playing the 1 seed, like be scared. Like, no way.
It is like when I look at what the Seahawks have done this year, watching them, they don't look as dominant as what these scores are. They have won 8 straight games, or is it 7? 7 straight games with their one loss since week 6 coming against the Rams in a 2-point game. And then they lost a 3-point game to the Buccaneers earlier in the year and the 4-point game to the 49ers. Like they definitely won't get blown out. That's one thing we can say. It's going to be a close game. And we need Sam Darnold to be scam Darnold.
Well, and Darnold popped up on the injury report yesterday with an oblique thing. They let him talk to the media afterwards, which is a good sign that he's not really hurt. He says he's fine. He says he just felt something. He didn't want to push it. But they haven't played in 13 days, and those are reps that he didn't get yesterday. So, that's something.
It's something. Sure.
It's not nothing. I'll take any little thing that maybe just makes him just a hair off.
I think it's funny they put him as questionable. Like, he's not questionable. He's going to play.
Well, yeah, and the Niners were doing that with everybody, too. I mean, Jacob Cowling practiced in full all week. He's questionable for the game, which is probably says more about the Niners and Jacob Cowling than anything else. Unfortunately, Michelle, one guy who's not questionable is Fred Warner. Just a bummer. First of all, really quick, do you know what that's from?
The Flintstones?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Wait, hold on. I know what it's from.
Oh,
wait, do it again.
I swear to God, sometimes I think you and me don't live on the same planet.
I don't know. Well, now I know because of the comments. Price is Right.
Why are you saying that like you don't know what that is?
I mean, I know it's a game show. I maybe watched it one time in my life. I don't know.
Oh my God. Yes, the Price is Right. It's like the most famous sound effect in all of human life.
Okay. Well, I know the sound effect.
I don't think you do. You said it was from the Flintstones.
I don't know why I guessed that. I didn't even watch the Flintstones either.
Wow. Okay. That you're making me feel so old right now. Thank you so much for that. But I was texting you the video of Fred Warner running around to practice, and you were like, yes. And you were like, all right, he's playing this week. And at first I was like, no, there's no chance of that. And then I started looking around and like Fred said maybe there's a chance that he could play. And I'm like, I think he's going to play a little bit. I started texting people and they were like, I wouldn't be shocked if he got out there. I'm kind of bummed they ruled him out right away.
Yeah, he looks great out there in practice. I mean, put him in. My thing is, what's going to be such a big difference between this Saturday or next week?
I don't think it is going to be that much of a difference. I think maybe they just wanted him to go through at least one practice before sending him back out there. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know how much like medical progress, so to speak, he's going to make in one more week. But whatever it is, I guess you feel just that much better. And look, if Fred is the one saying I'm not ready yet, that's totally his prerogative. But if he's sitting there saying I want to go, he's a big boy. It's his choice, man. And your options right now are Eric Kendricks and Garrett Wallow. And no disrespect to them, because I actually think they played a lot better than some of the linebacking we've seen recently. But like Levin said yesterday, it's Fred fucking Warner.
I mean, it would have felt way better, right, with Fred Warner in here. Now, at least the Seahawks don't have like this dominant tight end And it's not like Warner was going to be on JSN anyways. So I mean, it's really Jackson Smith and Jigba you have to stop in this passing game. Like that's all you got to do.
Hmm?
Now it would have been great for him to be in the running game because they desperately need help there because Charbonnet scares me even more than Kenneth Walker. Like Charbonnet will get you your 5 yards, 5 yards, and just like slowly kill you, right? And he's so good around the goal line. With Walker, he's scary because he could break one off for 40 yards at any time. But then also, like, there's 10 carries in a row where he'll get negative yards and then he'll finally break one off. So I'm okay with Walker getting a bunch of touches. It's Charbonnet that really can tire down this defense.
Yeah, Walker's, I don't know if it's his vision or what, but sometimes he has these runs and you're like, this guy's awesome. And then other times he has runs and you're like, what the hell is this dude doing? So it's very weird. It'd be very frustrating for me if I was a Seahawks fan. They have to be better against the run. That is my number one thing. And for the love of God, can we tackle? They missed 18 tackles in week 18, Michelle. Just doing that is going to matter, is going to make such a big difference.
It's going to be, I'm wondering how this offense is going to handle the noise in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be insanely loud. The weather, though, looks like it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Just give us no rain and Purdy can do his thing, right? But Jake Tonjes has to step up. It's wild that their playoff hopes may live and die on Jake Tonjes. It's not where we want to be at, but I've been impressed with him every time he's had a fill-in for Kittle this year.
And I feel like especially when Kyle knows that Kittle's not going to be there, he's able to put Tonjes in a position to be effective. Like last week, obviously, they were planning on having Kittle, and then they had to adjust afterwards. I think that Tonjes will have a better game this week. I did want to go back really quick because you mentioned the communication. They have to fix that. They've been bad in that area. Last week especially, they burned 4 timeouts for just dumb reasons. People not getting lined up, Kyle not getting the play call in fast enough, Brock not being able to hear the play call for whatever reason. Like, this game is going to be close. You're going to need every timeout. You can't afford to screw that stuff up. And if you're Brock, you got to be prepared, like, hey, if it's, 10 seconds left in the play clock and I don't hear anything from the sideline or whatever, like, I'm calling my own play. Like, don't use the timeout. He's got to know the 5 yards that even if you take the penalty, it's not worth burning the timeout.
Yeah, just do a run or take the penalty, especially when you're in the second half. If you're in the first half, I'm perfectly fine with taking the timeout. It's just so like, yeah, you might want those timeouts at the end of the first half, but it's such a different situation. The second half, you need to have your 3 timeouts going into the 2-minute warning. I want those 3 timeouts. I don't want to use any of them in the second half whatsoever, unless you're right near the goal line and it's a huge play where it could determine like if you go up ahead or not. Like there's situations, of course, but yeah, I take the 5 yards almost always in the second half.
They wasted 4 timeouts. One of them because Kendrick Bourne didn't know where to line up.
Bourne is struggling.
Why that guy continues to get playing time, it astounds me. He's not a great receiver. He's not a great blocker, and he doesn't know where to line up. So what exactly are you getting from him that he needs to be there and Jordan Watkins can't be active? Jordan Watkins must be the worst wide receiver known to man, or the 49ers are the dumbest team ever, because one of those things has to be true.
Well, Shanahan hates those rookies. He hates rookies, wide receivers especially. So I wouldn't be shocked if Watkins was better than Bourne because it'd be pretty hard not to be at this point. But clearly, Shanahan trusts Bourne more for whatever reason.
They started Malik Turner last week, who hasn't caught a pass since 2021 over Jordan Watkins. Of course, Jordan Watkins, I don't know, has he caught a pass this year ever? But it's wild to me that Kendrick Bourne, he keeps screwing stuff up. It's not even like this is a new development. And it cost them a timeout, and a timeout that they really needed because they didn't get a field goal attempt because they couldn't stop the runoff when Brock fumbled out of bounds on the last play. If they had a timeout, they could have used it to stop the runoff, and then they would have had at least a try, and that game could have been tied at halftime. So, this stuff does matter. They have to be on it, and Seattle is going to be so much crazier than Philly was last week. Philly knew they were going to lose. I really believe that. I've talked to people that were at the game and that were like, it's quiet before the game even started. They knew. The Seattle fans are going to be absolutely out of their minds.
Yeah, and with the Eagles, it just felt like this team was just the culture there. You could just feel it, right? And it was still a close game, and it felt like the whole time the Eagles it felt like the better team, right? When they won at the end of that game, I'm like, all right, I'll take it. But it's not like I felt like the 49ers super did anything that was super great to give them that win. Now, DeMarcus Robinson, if he can keep it up, that would be huge, right? They definitely need him. They need, like you already brought up, Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. That one catch, right? Maybe probably a little bit more from him this week as well. What did you think about the uses of Kyle Juszczyk? Because I know you hate when they target him too much.
I don't mind when they target him as much as when they hand it to him. He should never be handed the ball ever in any situation. It drives me nuts. When they throw it to him, I thought they did a good job last week because they gave him a couple of design plays, but most of it was checkdowns. And it's like, yeah, that's when great. He's a great check down option. He's got great hands. He's phenomenal. He can make a play after the catch. Like, no problem there. One of the biggest plays of the game was a check down to Kyle Juszczyk. I think that he's going to be a part of the game plan this week. And I was going to get to that when we get to the picks, but I would not be shocked to see Kyle Juszczyk used not only out of the backfield. I think they're going to sort of line him up as a de facto tight end too at time for a lot of this game. I don't think we're going to see much of Braden Willis. Sorry, Braden Willis, but I think Kyle would rather trust Juice there. So there's definitely a role for him on Saturday.
And we're going to talk about his projection on Sleeper because it's pretty low, and Juszczyk should get at least a couple targets in this game if necessary. And it was working last week, right? And the Eagles have a really good secondary like the Seahawks, so they might have to go that same route where they're getting creative with who they're targeting.
And I think they will. I fully expect that. And there's one other point I want to make about the offense before we get to those picks, and it is, please, Kyle, I know this is going to fall on deaf ears. Kyle, please don't run on first down. Pass on first down. I feel like everybody in the world knows on 1st and 10, the 49ers are running the ball. It's hard enough for the Niners to run the ball anyway. When the other team knows it's coming and they're playing the run, it's almost impossible. And I felt like if you looked at the Niners' possessions, I haven't double-checked this, so I could be just in my feels here. But I feel like when you looked at the Niners' possession, when they passed on first down, that's when the offense got moving a little bit. Because here's the thing. When they run it, they're going to get 3 yards. That's what they're going to do. It's a lot better to get 3 yards on 2nd and 7 than it is to get 3 yards on 1st and 10. Okay. Mm-hmm. And even if you throw an incompletion on first down, guess what? You're still in 2nd and long, which you would be anyway if you ran on first down. Please, Kyle, pass on first down. You got to pass to open up the run in this one.
First play of the game, play action, hit Ricky Pearsall deep.
There you go. Maybe it'll be his only catch of the game, but if you get 40 yards out of it, we'll take it.
Yeah.
But I was so furious. It's like, oh, you get a first down. Well, he couldn't wait to get up there and run the ball. It's like, oh, great. No gain. We've smashed Christian McCaffrey into a brick wall. Now it's 2nd and long again. Now everybody knows you got to pass. And I just feel like you make your life so much harder.
You definitely do. And they can't get away from the run, though, either. And
yes.
You're not saying to do that. You're just saying, please don't always make it so obvious on 1st and 10. Mm-hmm. But yeah, once you start passing, if you can complete a couple downfield passes, it's going to open up everything short and make the running game easier. Where if CMC can average 3.5 yards per carry, I'll take that in this game. Like, I'll take it. 19 carries, 3.5 yards per carry. I don't care, but that'll be fine. Just make sure you don't abandon the run game like you did last time.
Completely agree. 8 carries for Christian McCaffrey is not going to get it done. One other random thing that I just was reminded of. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. When George Kittle went down, everybody told the story about how Jed York went down immediately to go see him. And there's this picture that popped up on the internet.
That's AI. Yeah.
Right. There is so much wrong with this picture. First of all, the guy on the left is not Jed York. Like, not even close to looking like Jed York. Second of all, George Kittle has short hair in the photo. He hasn't had short hair since like his rookie year.
Can we go back to that, please? Can we please cut his hair?
Yeah, it looks way better short. I agree.
Yeah.
Third of all, let me see if I could zoom in. If you zoom in on the picture in the background, it's so comically bad. But some people were buying it. First of all, it said the score was 24-17 49ers, which the Niners didn't score 24 points in the entire game. Second of all, the quarter just says sat for Saturday, I assume, which was when this was made. And the last thing, the game was in Philly. There's a huge 49ers logo in the middle of the field in this picture. Like, the only thing correct about this picture is that it does have a bottle of alcohol in it. Other than that, the whole thing is wrong.
Yeah. And then also no tattoos on George Kittle. The plates in the back. Like, yeah, it's just everything.
God.
Because they have Kittle's number wrong too, right? Up on the plate.
Oh, dude, hold on. I didn't even look at that. It doesn't look like an 85. Yeah, for sure. I don't know what number it is, but it's certainly not 85. My God. like, what are we doing? That's the thing that all these companies want to put all this money to. That, God, sorry, I'm a little salty. All right.
I do love, though, that he was brought a tequila bottle.
Well, Jed said, "Is there anything that I could get for you?" And George was like, how about some booze?"
I love it. Yeah, love that.
I don't know if you heard, apparently, so George started drinking right away because why not? It's not like he has to play the game. Then they come in at halftime and teammates are like, "Oh, George, I'm so sorry." And George is like, "Hey, man, I'm not dead." And they start doing shots with George Kittle at halftime of the game.
The players?
Yes.
Well, they're lucky they won because that would have came out and created a lot of issues.
I suppose, but it just goes to show, like, to me, that's such an indication of like the vibes of this team. They just, no matter what happens, man, they just keep pushing. And I think it was in a weird way. I think it kind of like helped them get over it. That and the fact that literally the first play after George goes down, Brock goes deep to Jawan Jennings for a 40-yard play because that's what Brock Purdy does whenever this team is down, just like puts them on his back and carries them. But I do think it helped, like, get over the fact that we just lost one of our best players and our emotional leader at that point.
It's wild that Purdy missed half a season, basically. Kittle missed a ton of games in the regular season, then tears his Achilles. You have Nick Bosa tearing an ACL, Michael Williams tearing an ACL, Fred Warner dislocating his ankle. Like, all of this has happened, and they're going to be playing in the divisional round, and we're giving them an actual real shot to win. Now, Vegas is not. They're 7-point underdogs is insane. Insane. I think it's so disrespectful.
It's a lot, especially because it's a division game. I'm surprised it's that high, but hey, you know what? You do you. I don't care. They were wrong last week. They can be wrong again this week. Speaking of wrong, should we get to some picks?
Did we do that bad?
I actually haven't. I didn't even want to go back and check because I was like,
I got my Purdy rushing for sure.
I got my longest pass and shortest pass. I got both of those wrong because on the second play of the game, Brock Purdy completed a 61-yarder to Demarcus Robinson. Let's see. I had the Brock longest completion. That was wrong. The Hurts longest completion. That was wrong. Sam O less than half a sack. I believe I got that correct because I don't think the 49ers had a single sack. So yay, go me. I had Dallas Goedert anytime touchdown. Yes, that was the easiest pick in the world. You, Michelle, had Saquon Barkley more than 18.5 carries. Did Saquon Barkley get more than 18?
He had 26.
There you go. Good job. You, Brock, more than 18.5 rushing yards.
He had 24.
There you go. Christian McCaffrey, more than 18.5 rushing attempts.
No, he only had 15.
That hurts. And then Christian McCaffrey, more than 44.5 receiving yards.
He had 66. So I went 3 for 4.
Yeah, that is excellent. Excellent work by you. We make all of our picks using Sleeper, and you should too. It is super easy. You just pick higher or lower on a bunch of different stats. And if you get your picks right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Check it out. I highly recommend it. If you do, you'll get a free $20 entry just for signing up. So yay, have some fun. And then if you want to deposit money, use our code. You can see it on the screen, GSP, and you get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Potentially 100% if you go up to $100 on that first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, you cooked my ass, Michelle, on the pick. So go ahead. You can pick first. What do you like?
All right. So let me try to pick my favorite one so you don't take it. No, I don't want to go with that one. Hold on. Maybe I might let you go first.
Who are you talking to?
I was trying to find my pictures because I have them saved here. All right. I'm going to take the Purdy rushing. He's had over 20 rushing yards in each of the last 3 games. He hit this more than against the Seahawks just a couple weeks ago, and it's 18.5 rushing yards he's sitting at. I'm taking it.
So this one is scary to me because I do think the potential is there for him to hit it. I think what he needs to do, because he's going to be under pressure this game, because he was under pressure constantly the first time or the last time they played the Seahawks. When he gets pressure, he's just got to take off and run. If he decides to run and commits to it right away, there will be room and he'll be able to get away from guys to be able to pick up rushing yards. But if he does the thing he usually does, which is try to scramble so that he can throw, I think Seattle's going to be able to track him down and limit his actual rushing yards. So I didn't go with this one, although I completely understand why you went there. It was too scary for me, but I could see the Brock Purdy 18.5 rushing yards.
But 4 of the last 5 games, it's been 44 rushing yards, 28, 21, 24. The only one he didn't hit it was against those Colts.
And
11.
that's because they were passing the ball. He didn't need to. They were moving
Yeah.
the ball up and down the field. All right. I could see that. You've sold me. I'm not going to
Well,
coast.
I'm annoyed that you weren't even going to come close to that one because I wasted it on my first pick.
Yes, you absolutely did. All right. This is the easiest one in the world to me. I am taking, let me see, let me put it up on the screen. You're going to laugh, but it's true. Bryce Huff to have less than half a sack in this game. Did they? Okay, good. They didn't take it off the board. So this is easy. The Niners don't pressure anyone ever. Bryce Huff has not had a sack in a game since October. Bryce Huff has not had a quarterback hit in a game since before Christmas. And he has had only 2 quarterback hits since Thanksgiving. There is no way he's getting a sack in this game. Give me Bryce Huff less than half a sack.
I hate that because Bryce Huff, I mean, this is the thing. He's not meant to be a star edge rusher, right? He's not meant to be the main guy on a line. He's meant to help out and close out those sacks from playing with other dominant guys on the line. And that was supposed to be his role. So
yes,
you can't blame him too much, but you would have liked him to be a little bit better with all of the opportunities that he is getting.
Yes, none of that is meant to be a knock on Bryce Huff. He's a square peg in a round hole. They're using him in a way he was never meant to be used. I completely agree. But we're talking about my money here. And when it comes to my money, I like to pick sure things. And this is just about as close to a sure thing as you can get. Although I'm pretty sure you were never going to take this. So I probably could have waited.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even look at defense, honestly. I didn't even look there. Now, my next one is going to be a 3-parter. And you can take any of them you want, or you can take all of them together. All right. And it's all Jake Tonjes. It is his receiving yards at more than 37.5 receiving yards, his receptions more than 4.5, and his anytime touchdown just has to hit 1. It's at 0.5. And the touchdown one pays out 3.25 times, right? So love that. The receiving yards, I think he'll easily hit that. And the receptions pays out 2.12 times the amount. But Tonjes has scored a touchdown in 3 of the last 5 games that he played at least 40% of the snaps. We know he's going to do that with Kittle out. And the last 3 games that Kittle has missed, Tonjes has 11 targets, 7 targets, and 9 targets with 41, 56, and 60 receiving yards in those games with a receiving touchdown in 2 of those 3 games. He will definitely need to be targeted in this matchup against the Seahawks because they're so good at covering wide receivers, but they did allow the 5th most receptions to tight ends in the regular season. And we saw Tonjes have the game-winning touchdown for the Seahawks, or for the 49ers against the Seahawks in week 1. So I like all 3 of those. Obviously, the touchdown is the scariest one to go with, but I think the receptions and the receiving yards are pretty much a lock.
I agree. I had it written down as well. The dude can function in this offense. Whether or not you think he's a great player or whatever, I don't care. When Kittle's out and he has to play, they don't go away from the tight end. They target him and he produces, to his credit. And especially in the red zone, the 49ers wide receivers don't really have a lot of touchdowns. Juwan Jennings does. Other than that, it's like, who else is even getting touchdowns from the wide receiver spot? Most of the touchdowns have come from the tight ends. Tonjes is going to do it. So do you want me officially in the picks to put down all 3 of those?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. Okay. Feeling bold. And you're taking 3 bets off the board for me. That's kind of.
Well, you can sign your name to any of them that you want.
Let's see eventually if I will or not. But right now, I'm not going to go there. I'm stunned that you left this one on the board for me. And it's Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Kyle Juszczyk is going to be used as a receiver in this game. The number of catches, he's projected for 1.5 catches in the game. 2 catches, he may have gotten that if everybody was on board anyway. So I will take Kyle Juszczyk more than 1.5 catches. And I'm going to take Kyle Juszczyk for more than 14.5 receiving yards. Because if he gets 2 catches, whoops, I pushed the wrong button. If he gets 2 catches, he's going to have more than 14.5 receiving yards, most likely.
Yeah, I love the 14.5 receiving yards one because you never know. The 1 catch could be that, right? But yeah, he'll also have the 2 receptions. So I like both of those a lot.
I don't know why. Oh, there it is. Yeah, receiving yards. What's the number on that? Let me see.
14.5.
Yeah, but I mean, see, what's the 1.8? No, that's Juwan Jennings. Sorry. 1.7 times your money if you hit the more than on this. Yeah, that's just too juicy for me to pass up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm
he's
keeping
gonna
both, baby.
He's gonna get it. All right, I'm going with a Seahawks player now. I'm going to go with Zach Charbonnet. I'm going to take his rushing. It's sitting at only 46.5. And the last 2 weeks, they've really leaned, or the Seahawks' last 2 games, they've really leaned on Zach Charbonnet. 18 carries in week 17, 17 carries against the 49ers in week 18, 110 and 74 rushing yards in those 2 games. I mean, I love his anytime touchdown as well, the more than 0.5 touchdowns, because he always scores, it seems like, in every game. 3 straight games he scored a touchdown. But I also think this 46.5 is a really easy one for him to hit the more than.
I hope he hits the under, because that would mean very good. If I hope he hits less than, because that would mean very good things for the 49ers. The fact that you can get it at 2 times your money, though, that's pretty darn good.
That anytime touchdown, more than 1.8 times your money. I love that too. I want to just put them all down.
Michelle's taking all the picks for everyone.
Put them both down. Those are my last 2.
Wow. Okay. So Charbonnet and then anytime touchdown as well.
Yeah.
And they mark it in the official, the official picks Google sheet that I have, because I like to keep track of all of those. All right. I like all those that you made. Is there one? There's one more that I'm going to take, and I hope it doesn't come true. It's a Seahawks pick, but I'm going to take DeMarcus Lawrence to have at least 1 sack in the game. Brock Purdy was under a crazy amount of pressure the whole time. There were a couple plays where Tank Lawrence completely destroys Colton McKivitz right off the jump. The 4th down conversion that they attempted, they had 2 guys wide open on that, but Tank Lawrence defeated not only Colton McKivitz, but also Christian McCaffrey, who tried to chip him and still affected the play. I'm going to take Tank Lawrence to have at least 1 sack. It's more than 3 times your money. For 1 snap, for 1 play, the number is too juicy for me. I think that Brock's going to get sacked at least a couple of times in this game. So I'm going to take Tank Lawrence to have at least 1 sack.
I like it.
All right. So to recap the picks, Tank Lawrence to have a sack, like I said. Bryce Huff to not have a sack. That's another one of my picks. Kyle Juszczyk, more than 14.5 receiving yards, and Kyle Juszczyk more than 1.5 catches in the game. Michelle is taking Brock Purdy more than 18.5 rush yards. Jake Tonjes, more than 37.5 receiving yards, more than 4.5 catches, and an anytime touchdown. And Zach Charbonnet, more than 46.5 rush yards, and Zach Charbonnet to score a touchdown.
It's a lot going on there.
That is a lot. I feel like you are feeling strong.
I am, but they're all pretty low, right? It's not like I'm taking anybody to have 80 yards or anything like this. So I am not expecting a high scoring game, but I do think that these guys can get like the Tonjes or Charbonnet. If these teams do score a touchdown, I think that's the best bet. It's going to be Tonjes or Charbonnet on either side. And then the 30 yards or so for these guys, like I think they can get that.
Got a couple of super chats here I want to get to. Too Much Sauce 33 says, as a fan of you both, what happened to Stats and Cone? I didn't want to stream anymore with Grant, and so we stopped. That's what happened. I've talked about it. It's not there was no fight. There was no anything. I literally just tweeted at Grant this morning. He liked the tweet. Like, I don't know why people keep asking. I've addressed it. It's not, there's no anything there. There's no drama, but people keep asking, and you did pay money to ask the question, so I wanted to answer it. Bill Wagner says, Rob, you're the Apex 49ers streamer. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Would you agree?
100%.
Of course. What else are you going to say? Smells like foot in here says, I'm a Brock Purdy critic. I did credit him for making clutch plays at the end to win last week, but you can't throw your signature multi-interceptions against Seattle. One of the picks, I felt like, I don't know. I guess they were both kind of bad. The first one, he had an open guy. I wish he just made a bad situation worse. That was the problem. He was under pressure. He was probably going to get sacked, and he should have just taken the sack, but he didn't. He threw it out there, and it was easily intercepted. The second one, I don't know. I think he just didn't throw it he didn't drive the ball. It just kind of hung up there on him. But the second one was a killer because they had just gotten the ball back in the 4th quarter with a lead, and you had a chance to really take control of that game, and instead you gave the ball right back to Philly.
He has too many of these games where it's multiple mistakes, right? And if he throws 2 interceptions in this game, it's really, really hard to see them come away with a win. He has to be safe with the ball. And it's hard because like you posted a clip on Instagram. I don't know where else you posted it, where it shows him anticipating throws, right? And he anticipated that deep throw to Juwan Jennings, right? Was that the one?
Yep, that was
And
right after the Kittle injury.
fantastic throw. But the issue with anticipation in this type of offense is that you can anticipate, but if the wide receiver or whoever the receiver is isn't doing the exact correct thing, it could easily turn into an interception where it looks like Purdy made a boneheaded mistake. You're like, who are you throwing to? But this is what the offense calls for. This is his timing. This is what he's supposed to be doing. And if the wide receiver messes up, it just makes him look stupid, right? So I think it can't all fall on Purdy here, but at the same time, he has to remember, if you're in a dire situation, just throw the ball away, right? Like, especially when it's early downs, don't do anything stupid and play safe that way.
The film breakdown you're talking about is we do it every Thursday. It's a YouTube only. So it's on the YouTube channel. We have a whole playlist of all the film breakdowns we've done. Go and check it out. Not now.
This is our time.
That's right. Figure Drawing 4912 says Seattle Seahawks are going to do exactly what they did to the 49ers in the last game. Hawks are going to go run heavy. The Hawks are going to lean on their defense because they can. I don't know that they can. Again, I think that Kyle is not going to get shut down the way he got utterly shut down in week 18. No question about it. I have too much faith in the man to just get completely locked down twice in a row inside of 3 weeks. Now, maybe the Seahawks will still be able to run the ball. I don't dispute that one, but I just think the Niners will have a better offensive plan.
How many points do you think they have to score to win this game?
It's a good question. I think the number in my head, if you get to 21, whoever gets to 21, I think is going to win. And I think if you get to 24, I think you're in really good shape.
I was going to say 23.
Because, and I feel like this isn't getting enough attention, the Seahawks don't score against the 49ers either. Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold hasn't thrown a touchdown pass against the 49ers. JSN hasn't caught a touchdown pass against the 49ers. Like, Robert Saleh's done a good job against Seattle. I know there's Seahawks fans saying, oh, we missed a field goal. Oh, we turned it over. And yeah, great. Good for you. Guess what? You didn't score. That's all that matters. You don't get any trophy for what you should have, could have done. Trust me. 49er fans know. So I think that Saleh's going to have a good game plan. They're going to be ready to go. I'm fascinated to see what Marquise Siegel does now that he's going to have to play because Jair Brown is out. I think that having a couple guys in Kendricks and Garrett Wallow and Siegel who are fresh will help. I think that'll help with some of the missed tackles also. It's going to be fascinating to see. This is like job interview number 1 billion for Robert Saleh, who's already actually had some interviews this week.
Yeah, Saleh, I think will get a head coaching job. I mean, I'm happy for him as a man, but I would love him to be the Steelers' next head coach. We'll see about that, but it looks like he'd be more likely to land with the Ravens and make me hate him than the Steelers. But you're right on Darnold. I mean, in the 2 games this year against the 49ers, he averaged 174 passing yards per game, had 0 touchdowns and 1 giveaway. So it's not like Darnold's putting up numbers. That's why they have to stop the run. And if Darnold beats you, then Darnold beats you. Right? You can live with that. Mm-hmm. What you can't live with was what you let week 18 happen, where you let it be so easy for him. Because if you make it easy, then the Seahawks are going to be fine. Like they won't make turnovers. It'll be fine. But put just a little pressure on him overall, please.
Find a way to make him uncomfortable. Find a way to make him think you're going to bring pressure on him, even if you don't, but just something to just make him not totally just drop back and, okay, I can go to my first read, which is probably going to be JSN because I don't throw it to anybody else. And there we go. Figure Drawing says the 49ers cannot get 21 or 24 points, brother. Good luck, man. The Titans put up 24 points on this defense. Like, the 49ers can't? It's impossible for the 49ers? Like, what? Why? Come on. That's crazy talk, man. I just think that if you think it's going to go exactly like the first time around, probably on both ends. Maybe the Seahawks can't run the ball because the 49ers sell out to stop that, but Sam Darnold's able to throw it all over the place. It's not going to be a complete repeat performance of week 18. That's not how it's going to go.
No, it's not. And now it doesn't mean the 49ers will win, but it's not going to be the same type of just dominating the 49ers offense.
Potbelly or Ornaments. Potbelly's Ornaments says, I pray that these Seahawks players are as overconfident as their fan. A lot of Seahawks fans are acting like they are unbeatable, that there is no chance you could beat this Seahawks team. Like, have you not seen your quarterback play in the playoffs?
I know.
I mean, look, if we are just comparing the 2 quarterbacks in the playoffs, there is no comparison. Brock Purdy is awesome in the playoffs. He is awesome in the fourth quarter when trailing in the playoffs. Sam Darnold has never had a playoff moment in his life. That's just a fact. And you could say it doesn't matter or whatever, but that is what has happened to this point.
It is. And Purdy has found ways to win in the playoffs. And it's not all, I mean, it's a team effort. Absolutely. But at the same time, I'm going to trust Purdy more than Sam Darnold when it comes to the end of a playoff game. If we need a drive, or if they need a drive, like if Sam Darnold can go, he can change his entire reputation. If he has one game-winning drive in the playoffs, that would change everything for him. But I'm not changing my opinion on how clutch he is until he actually shows us he could do it in a big game.
And the other thing I'm going to say, and I'm not wishing for this, I want to state this as a fact, but if for some reason, let's say Jackson Smith-Njigba wakes up tomorrow and he's sick as hell and has a 200-degree fever and can't play, if he can't play or goes down in this game, the Seahawks offense is screwed. They don't and can't throw to anybody else. There is nobody else in the receiving game for the Seahawks that can do anything in this game. So if we're going to talk about, offenses and what could or couldn't happen, if JSN doesn't play for whatever reason, they got nothing in the passing game. Zero.
Yeah. But I mean I don't see him waking up with a fever, but
no, and I don't want him. I'm not rooting for him to get hurt, but guys do get hurt playing football games. 49ers fans are well aware of that. Guys get concussions, whatever.
It is wild what JSN has been able to do this year because he has nobody else on this offense to take pressure away, and teams know it's all him. And for somehow just nobody can really stop it. It just doesn't. He's just been dominant every week.
That's a credit to Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator in Seattle. That, I mean, like you said, teams are gearing up to stop it all the time, and they just don't. Someone in the chat mentioned Rashid Shaheed. They don't target him that much. He hasn't had more than one target in a game since December 14th.
Yeah, I mean, he's a returner at this point, and that's basically it. I thought he was a great acquisition by them to go trade for him, but it really hasn't turned into much production. I mean, 2 receiving yards against the 49ers in week 18, 8 in week 17, 0 in week 16. So it's not like he's been putting up these numbers against them or against anybody.
Yeah, and I think special teams wise, he's a huge threat and could be a massive difference maker in this game, but to this point, they haven't done that. By the way, Figure Drawing says, if Jackson Smith-Njigba can't play, we're doing this now. No, go ahead. He played both matchups. They didn't score more than 13 points. Like, I'm just saying, like, even with your guy, you couldn't score more than 13 points. So let's not get all confident here about what Seattle could do, okay? They are a very, very good defensive team. They have an incredible wide receiver, and that's it.
Yep.
So let's see what happens. It's a division game. We're going to roll it out. We're going to play. Brock Purdy's 4-0 in Seattle in his career, if that matters to anybody at all. Ooh, bless you, Michelle. I feel good. I had Ajita going into the game against the Eagles. I don't think it's unrealistic at all to say that the 49ers are playing in the NFC Championship game.
And Purdy can break the record for most consecutive wins throughout any, part of a career by a quarterback in Seattle with 5. Right now, he's tied with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts for 4 straight wins in Seattle. So, yeah, I mean, he could break this record. I don't know if it really – people think some of my stats are stupid. That might be one of them, but I don't care. I like them. I like my stats.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. Let's say, for the sake of argument, the 49ers win. Who are the 49ers playing in the NFC Championship game, Michelle?
I have the Bears actually winning this game because it's in Chicago, because it's going to be 19 degrees. Now, I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game because it doesn't look like the weather in general. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy windy or snowy or anything like that. It'll just be really cold. But with this team coming from LA with their perfect weather all year long, and the Rams have been very up and down this last month for sure. They've been allowing a lot of points, and the Bears offense can put up points. They can make comebacks. Even if the Rams are up by 10, 14 points in the fourth quarter, it can change. I won't be surprised if either team wins, but I would much rather it be the Bears, right, than the Rams.
Oh, I wouldn't. I think I'd rather, because if the Rams win, you play the game in LA, which is basically a home game for the 49ers.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about the weather. And yeah, it's much closer. I guess but the Rams, though.
I know. The last time the Rams played the 49ers, they scored a touchdown on every drive in the second half. That's a real thing. But can you imagine Niners fans invade that stadium and take it over? and 54 is leading the team out of the tunnel for the first time in like 107 days. It's going to be a home field advantage. It would be crazy.
It would be. It would be so sad if the 49ers lose and then we're watching that Sunday night game and the Rams win and it's the Seahawks and the Rams in the NFC Championship. It's like, oh, no, that's like worst case scenario that can happen this weekend.
Right. And then one of those teams is obviously guaranteed to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it will make it super easy for me on who to root for in the Super Bowl, because last year I was like, I can't root for the Eagles, but I hate the Chiefs. So like, I was really like a weird thing. Obviously, we wouldn't have that. I'm pulling for D'Amico Ryans in the AFC just because he, former Niner defensive coordinator. I love the guy. That defense is a bunch of freaking badasses, man. They are so damn good. CJ Stroud is fumbling the ball every other drop back. It doesn't even matter. They outscored the Steelers by themselves last year.
All right. We don't have to bring the Steelers and do it. But yeah, I am rooting for the Texans the rest of the way. Also, I would be happy to see Josh Allen win a Super Bowl. So Bills or Texans, I want to make the Super Bowl in the AFC. And then obviously there's only one team I want to make it in the NFC.
Yeah, we could punt the Patriots into the sun. If they never win another game, that wouldn't be soon enough for me. I can't stand them. So forget that. Really quick, since you are a Steeler fan, in addition to being a 49er fan now, since we've adopted you into the faithful, who do you want to be the next Steelers head coach?
I mean, I want it to be Robert Saleh. That would be my number one choice. But I would also like Mike LaFleur, right now the OC for the Rams. He would be interesting if we're going to go offensive route. Click Kubiak could be interesting. But I think it's going to be Brian Flores. So I don't really.
Really?
It seems like 95% chance it's going to be Brian Flores, which I'm okay with. I think it's not the most exciting choice, but I think that's who it's going to be.
I say he's a fine coach, and he's, as a defensive coach, he's a psychopath. Like, your defense would be fun, but you haven't had a quarterback and an offense in so long. Just watching the Steelers play football on offense has been so freaking painful. And it wasn't that long ago that you had one of the best offenses ever with Big Ben and Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and you were just dominating people. And it feels like, why did the Steelers know that you can do that again? Like, it's allowed.
Are you trying to hurt me? Hurting my feelings over here. Oh my goodness. So we had to watch the Steelers playoff game against Houston in Houston. So, we went out for the game. Everyone's Texans fans, and they start killing them in the fourth quarter. And what do they play at the bar? Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and just. And Kate, my wife, she starts to tear up.
Oh no.
Like, they got her real good. I felt really bad, but it was hilarious, but not at the time. I mean, at the time I was real upset, but it's funny to think about how petty that bar was at the time. Yeah.
You know what? I kind of respect it a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. I can think back now and think it was funny, and I will be rooting for them the rest of the way. So at least I get to join these Texans fans rooting for the team on Sunday.
You are going to root for the team that eliminated your team.
I like the Texans. I like, if they weren't playing the Steelers, I would have rooted for them. I'm going to root for them. They're fun to watch. I love their defense. I mean, you remember how obsessed I was with Jalen Petrie during that draft? I wanted the 49ers to get him so bad. But yeah, I like that defense.
One of the things I want to do this year on the channel is have much more draft coverage. I didn't do as much as I think other people did. I know you're heavy into the draft. Johnny Dell's heavy into the draft. Others are as well. So I think we're going to have more of that. But I just want to remind everybody one last time how great it is that we don't have to worry about that stuff right now. We don't have to worry about draft and free agency and all that stuff, because we have to worry about football, playoff football, the most fun football. How great is it that everybody is talking about our team and breaking down our team? There are 24 teams sitting around doing nothing. They'll be watching the playoffs, and the Niners are in the playoffs and have a very good chance to play in the NFC Championship game again.
With all these injuries, if they're in the NFC Championship, man, I mean, you can't ask for much more.
I love the 49ers plan to defeat the injuries. Just keep playing long enough so that people have time to fully recover from an ankle being twisted in the wrong direction.
Wish he was playing this week.
I know. We miss you, Fred. We're going to do it for you. We're going to do it for Fred. We're going to do it for Kittle. We're going to do it for Michael Williams. Pick your guy that you want the 49ers to play for in this Memorial season. And by the way, really quick, anybody else out there?
You get hurt, hurt him back. You get killed, walk it off.
Ricky Pearsall, looking at you, man. Nobody else can go down. We have to this is what we got. and let's get it. And hopefully they do. And regardless of what happens, we'll be here for you, breaking it down. We'll be live immediately after the game tomorrow night. Please join us here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you know every time we're live. I promise you, if you give us some of your time, we will earn it. You will come back and you will be a better, smarter fan. Michelle, what do you got going on this weekend other than the playoff game?
Literally watching all the playoff games. That's my plan this weekend, and not much more. It's chilly in Houston, so staying inside for a bit this week.
Did you really just say that to me? It's chilly in Houston.
It's in the 50s and it's chilly.
Oh, Muffin, it's in the 50s. Did you break out your winter coat?
It's in my attic, but I could use it.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everybody. We'll talk to you after the game.
Bye, y'all.